Glad to be here tonight. It's an honor to be here and have a chance to talk to you. I've been busy since January, my wife and I, traveling the 4th District, trying to see if there isn't some way we can help the current representative from the 4th District spend a little more time with her family in Harrisonville in 2017. I'm a first-generation native Missourian. I was born of an immigrant family. My parents were from western Kansas. I grew up in northeast Kansas City in a union household. My father worked for Chevrolet. He was a member of Local 93, Leeds. And my mother worked for ever and ever for Local 778, the machinist union. She started working on 15th Street, then moved to 47th Street and wound up on Hillcrest Road. I left Kansas City in 1959. I enlisted in the Navy, and I was gone 4 years. And when I came back, sooner or later, I married my bride. It'll be 51 years in June. We don't know really whether that's true love or just a lack of initiative, but I've certainly learned a lot about compromise over the years. We have 4 grown children and 11 grandchildren. Now, with the help of the GI Bill, when I came back, I went to Metropolitan Community College and got an associate's degree. I went to UMKC and got a bachelor's degree in political science. And then I got a master's degree in government from Claremont Graduate School in California. In 2010, I retired after 35 years in the investment business. Yes, I'm one of those. I was a stockbroker and a bond salesman, but I didn't drink the Kool-Aid. One of the things I learned in the investment business was the importance of investing in your assets. If you invest in your assets, then they'll grow and they'll give you a return. Well, as a society, our most important assets are our citizens. And this is what I'm running on, investing in our citizens. We want to invest in their economic well-being. $15 an hour and a union, a living wage for all workers. At the poverty level today, there is only one household that could work for minimum wage and even reach the poverty level. And that's a household with a single person, and only if they work 40 hours a week, 52 weeks a year, which of course they're not going to get to do. We all know that the path to the middle class has always been led by organized labor. When I was in between high school and when I went in the Navy, I was a teamster. I worked at Montgomery Ward's in the warehouse. And then after I got out, when I was at UMKC, I was fortunate enough to get a job at Milgram's grocery store, and I was in the retail clerk. So I enjoyed good union wages when I was after high school and when I was going to school. Someone asked me, someone close to me, why should they pay $15 an hour to some guy at McDonald's or Burger King or someplace like that when they can't even get his order right? I said, well, you know, at $7.58 an hour, I wouldn't give a damn about your order either, but at 15, I probably would. I heard the other day a lady say, there are 2 words that we should never hear in the same phrase, working poor, shouldn't exist. The other thing I would invest in is in our citizens' physical health. Now, I'm a fan of the Affordable Care Act. I think it's a good thing. It's done a lot for 10, 20 million people, however many of them. However, there are still too many people that lack basic health care. In 2000, the World Health Organization ranked our health care 37th in the world. Now, that put us between Costa Rica and Slovenia, not rare company. In 2014, the Commonwealth Fund ranked the 11 top industrialized nations' healthcare system. We wound up 11 out of 11. That's all because of access. We are also the only one that doesn't have a national health system, and incidentally, our system was more expensive than everybody else's. There is really no excuse for us to have people to go to a free health care clinic like they did in Kansas City in this country. It's not because we don't have excellent hospitals. We do. Excellent doctors and nurses are very dedicated. I have 3 nurses in my family. The end of May, I'll have another one right after UMKC's nursing class graduates, and my son is a doctor. But I'm a fan of the single-payer system. I believe that it should be Medicare for everyone. You know, Medicare is in the business of producing health care. Insurance companies are in the business of producing profit, and I'm not sure that those things go together very well. The next thing I would invest in is in educating our citizens. Everybody should have access to good, high-quality public schooling. From the time they enter preschool, Head Start, through a university education or vocational training. I would like it that if they went to those schools and they did the work and they were qualified, that they would be for free. That's an investment in our citizens and in our society. When people are well educated, they get better jobs, they're better tax-paying citizens. Now, there's a caveat to that with the local business, with the adjunct professors at the university. They've recognized that education isn't everything. They're also going to have to organize and get a union if they're going to get paid. So I believe the best thing would be if if schools are free to the kid. The other thing is if they have to borrow, then there's no reason that they should pay any more to borrow money than the Treasury Department pays, which right now is zero. The other thing I would invest in is our environment. It is the only planet we have. More than likely, it's the only one we'll ever have. When all of the science, 97% anyway, agree that man has contributed to global warming, then that's probably what happened. If somebody starts to say to you about the climate change deniers, they say, well, I'm not a scientist, but you can stop listening because whatever else they say is going to be nonsense. It would be like, you know, if you had trouble with your car and you took it to some guy and said, I'm not a mechanic, but I can fix it. I don't think so. Or worse yet, if you were feeling bad, you went to see somebody, the guy said, I'm not a doctor, but I'll help you out. Probably not. We have an obligation to leave a good, clean, safe planet for our children, our grandchildren, and their grandchildren. This is what I'm running on. Efforts for regular people. We are in a new Gilded Age, worse since the latter part of the 19th century. The economic disparity has gotten to the point that even the Republicans are recognizing there may be a problem there. In the post-Citizens United and McCutcheon decisions, our country is being run for and by the top 5,000 families in the country. The other side has the big money. We'll never be able to match their money. Money is to some politicians just like opium is to an addict. And when they start governing, they legislate for the money, not for the citizens. Their supporters are described as rich and powerful. They're rich, but they're only powerful if we let them. We have the ideas, and we have the numbers. And the big money boys are worried about our ideas and our numbers. If they weren't worried about it, then they wouldn't be putting out so much effort to disenfranchise our voters and to kill the labor unions. Back in 1787, a little history here, back in 1787 during the Constitutional Convention, it was secret. And since they didn't have Twitter or Facebook, if you wanted to know what was going on in there, you had to hang around outside the Independence Hall and ask somebody. So a woman, a Mrs. Powell of Philadelphia, asked Benjamin Franklin, Dr. Franklin, what kind of a country have you given us? A monarchy or a republic? He replied, it's a republic, madam, if you can keep it. Well, can we keep it? It's up to us, the regular people, and we must do this and put every effort out to preserve our republic. We must elect leaders who will represent regular people. I will work to fix Citizens United. I will work to mandate a living wage for every worker. I will look for others, whether they're Democrats, Republicans, or independents, who are willing to work for the common good. I need your votes. I need your support. I need people to vote their self-interest. Ask your neighbors if they're registered to vote. If they're not, help them get registered. If they are, make sure they go to the polls. People have died for the right to organize and to vote. Don't let these rights be taken away. Vote for regular people. Encourage others to vote. Vote Democrat. And if you live in the 4th District, vote for me.